The Organization of Oil Exporting Countries, or the OPEC, is mulling over the idea of suspending Russia from an oil production deal. This as Moscow deals with Western sanctions, which has hurt its ability to produce more oil. Exempting Russia could pave the way for Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and other OPEC members to produce more to meet the production targets here. Since Russia invaded Ukraine, oil prices have soared and have remained above $100 a barrel. Countries, including the United States, have urged a hike in production to bring down prices. Now, Russia is one of the world's 3 largest oil producers. It has agreed with OPEC on 9 non-OPEC nations last year to pump more crude each month. But now, as sanctions hit, its output is expected to fall about 8% this year. Speculations are rife whether the grouping will bring changes to their output. Today's OPEC's 13-member and 10 non-OPEC producers led by Russia, they're all set to meet virtually together. The OPEC and non-OPEC producers call themselves the OPEC Plus. The group is expected to approve a planned increase of 432,000 barrels a day. This will be part of the incremental monthly increases designed to bring production back to pre-pandemic levels. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has sparked serious concern about oil supplies, sending prices to record highs this year. Sanctions against Russia, they've only caused oil prices to soar further, putting pressure on OPEC to produce more oil in order to bring some relief to the market. Remember, countries in the EU, along with the United States and the UK, are either banning import of Russian oil or phasing it out by the end of the year. But so far, Saudi Arabia, the de facto leader of the OPEC Plus, has given no indication it is willing to make such a move. Last week in Davos at the World Economic Forum, Saudi Foreign Minister said that the kingdom had done what it could for the oil market. Soaring oil prices have also benefited the economies of the Gulf countries. For example, Saudi recorded its highest growth rate in 10 years in the first quarter of 2022. As a result, analysts say that the grouping will still be opposed to producing oil too freely. And for more on this, joining us live from Dubai is Dr. Wael, who is a political analyst. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us. Now, let's start by talking about the practical implications of this. What impact will this decision have, if taken by OPEC, on the overall global oil production?
Well, first of all, there is an increase, talk of an increase of the production of the Saudis and UAE, which already brought down the market, fall down to $114 per barrel today, which was 120.8 till a few hours ago, which also a clear indication that if the Saudis are under the American pressure and the G7 country who called for the OPEC to produce the oil, then we are going to see a little fall, but it won't have much of an impact, especially on the developing country and country like India and China and the rest of Asia who depend on the oil. So there will be little impact. And secondly, Russia is being a non-member of the OPEC also, will have already output has reduced 9% in April. So there is also talk of the oil production of Russia has been reduced. However, that reduction does not have much impact on the revenue that Russia has recovered for the last 3 months of the war on Ukraine. So there is a talk that there could be the OPEC really play a major role in bringing or at least down the prices or stabilizing the market. However, we have to watch and see how much the market will react to the output.
Right, absolutely. Now, just for more clarity on that point, so far there is no formal push for OPEC to pump more oil to make up for any potential Russian shortfall. Now, what do you think could drive this decision by OPEC countries, considering some members in the Persian Gulf have begun planning for an output increase sometime in the next few months?
That's exactly what I've been saying. It's the G7, including the United States, who are pushing the OPEC to increase their productions, but that is, however, only will benefit also the industrial countries because of the production. These are dependent more on the oil. Who is depending on the oil is the Asian countries rather than the American and the West, who are also pumping their oil. And this also have led to increase in the food inflations and also in the prices increase all over the world, which we are facing the impact in India and the rest of the world. Even in the in UAE, we are witnessing this increase, and there is a sort of cautious in the market. This pressure is only by this country, because keeping the prices high also is good for those GCC countries as a whole, because anything is increasing in the price. That means that, as we've been saying in the introduction, that the Saudi economy has improved. They are already on war zone with the Yemen, and they are already spending lots of money. So keeping the price high helped them a lot, and therefore nobody is interested in bringing the prices down.
Right, absolutely. Now, just on that point, talking about high prices here, Russia's production, it's fallen since President Vladimir Putin launched the Ukraine invasion and will likely drop further. Now, just for clarity, you just mentioned this, how will this impact global oil prices in the near future?
Well, there will be, in the long haul, there will be an impact, because if this war continue for more months, as the American and the West is predicting that this war will go on for a few months more, that means it will have a very negative impact on many of the Asian countries. In fact, even the World Bank have given a very negative pictures of the country falling short of paying their debt to the World Bank, and therefore there will be more of collapsing like the Sri Lankan way in Afghanistan, Nepal, Pakistan, and so on and so forth. So therefore, there will be a huge impact on those developing countries who are unable to meet the hard currency to buy their oil, while their production, the GDP, is falling down. And with the price high is rising, there could be another impact, and there could be social unrest, and that will have a huge impact, and the poverty and growth rate will be very, very, very negative in many of the countries. Therefore, what we need in the world is the international community should work in ending the war, not continuing and pumping more arms into Ukraine. It is rather the time that this war should stop, and the world should not face the music, because most of the poor countries are paying the price for a war of none of their concern.
Absolutely. Dr. Valeva, thank you so much for joining us with your assessment. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.